Like,
if this was if the purge started tomorrow,
that would be the first stop.
Horn went, I'd take this and I'd head straight fucking down there and put it through a goddamn temple.
Would you like a police swap?
Oh, I can't believe you came in here without a helmet, you fucking stupid. Why would you think to come in a reception's office without a helmet?
Does anyone have cyanide?
Speaking of sexual offenders. Not every time. I've just shit myself. Pass me that pen.
Wait.
Shh.
Wait.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We actually don't know if it's good because we're not wearing headphones right now. Headphones will be back. I just ordered 20 meters worth of auxiliary cable. Shh, keep it quiet.
Sorry, we're bringing it back in. Oh, that was really. Oh no! Put it right up. Put it up. There we go. What Daddy's doing now is he's actually just slipping the tip. Oh, he's popped that pen again. Oh, and what he's doing now is he's angrily fingering this packet here, and he's clicked it again. Oh,
I don't understand what the fucking problem is. Fucking whatever. What the fuck ever.
I was looking at the screen and the whole bar went red.
Oh, fucking
Yeah, I'll
whatever.
do it.
Thank you.
I'll do it.
I was trying to explain to someone the other day my short temper
Yeah.
and how I've managed to get a hold of it in the last few years.
Yeah.
Because
Going back on that?
No. Look, I don't mind inanimate object rage. It was rage. It was just more my short temper with people. But I was reminded of it from spending a day with my father and his father.
Yep.
That's what got it into my head. I was trying to explain what a rude reminder it is to stay on the path that I'm on every time I'm with them. Mm-hmm. Especially my dad, who was telling me about how he choked somebody at work. I was at the hospital. My grandpa was unwell. He's fine, but it was just like he's a hypochondriac like me. So he was avoiding going to the doctors.
As lots of old people do.
Yeah. And he avoided about a million things, and then this one thing he couldn't avoid, which I believe it was that he just couldn't piss.
Yeah, right.
Because when I got there, he had a
catheter.
Catheter? Is that what it is?
Yeah, catheter.
The thing that goes in your pee-pee to make it easier for the pee. And he was peeing into a bag, and he was like, "Look at that! Fill that bad boy up."
Oh, Pa.
But then they were like, "Hey, since you're here, you need a pacemaker. You need."
That's
this
just
scan.
shocking for them to go, like, get the fucking checkbook out and go, and you need a pacemaker and more exercise. Sorry, just circle back to that one. Did you say a fucking pacemaker?
It was just more that they were like, what are you feeling? And he was like, "Oh, me tummy hurts, and my bladder feels like quite warm. Also, my heart pounds once every 3 days. I can taste the color blue.
Yeah.
I've got a pain in my knee that goes left to right and then up to my eyes. And my ear fell off this morning. Just your basic stuff." And so they're like,
But I used Gorilla Glue and it's come back good.
Straight back on. One time I remember he was having an issue with his penis, right? As old men often do. But he'd clearly scratched himself or done something and it had gotten infected.
No.
And I remember him saying he had to go to the doctors because the pain was unbearable and obviously his penis had got
Is
infected.
it my cock?
And he went, they bloody, because he's got a big tummy. He's not a fat guy, but he's got a big tummy and he's an old man. So he hasn't seen his penis in a long time. Mm-hmm. And he goes, they showed me it in the mirror and it looked like a piece of raw lamb. And that sticks with me. That sticks in my mind.
He would be the guy to be like, oh, that bloody nurse can suck the spots off a Dalmatian.
He is truly disgusting.
That is a true rubberneck, if you will.
He's the one. I'll probably have to bleep this out, but we went and had lunch, right? And my auntie at the time was dating an Indigenous man.
Yep.
And we hadn't told him because relax, guys. He's a 90-year-old man from country Australia.
Yep.
Please don't be shocked by the information that he was not happy about it.
Yep.
He'll be dead soon. Chill.
You'll have your comeuppance. Relax.
I remember telling this story in front of somebody, well, a group of people, and like he just had this, and I couldn't finish the story because someone just kept going on. It was like, that's just disgusting. And I was like, I hear what you do. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But fucking chill.
Yeah.
He, and I can't change. It was almost put onto me to be like, why don't you have a conversation with him? I call him.
He can't hear me when I'm standing right in front of him.
That's true. But also I call him a fucking idiot when he says dumb stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, Pa, the systemic racism that you don't understand, and explain to a 90-year-old man who
Pa,
is...
because you didn't vote yes, we
He
now
didn't vote
have
at all.
to-
He can't leave the fucking house. For God's sakes. He's a 90-year-old man whose penis is like a raw piece of lamb who's pissing into a bag.
Smooth transition.
So my auntie was dating an Indigenous man.
I'm sure a lovely guy.
And I knew this. Obviously, he's a
Yeah.
lovely man. He's a human being on this planet.
Yeah.
His race is not important until
Literally
this
not.
story.
I'm so glad you said that because I've got a great story. Keep going.
So my auntie, we're having lunch. I was late to lunch, and I don't think she'd planned to tell him that day, but it had come up. So when I got to the restaurant, the pub, across the bistro, tables over, he yells, "Did you know your auntie?" I nearly walked out of the restaurant.
Yeah, I was going to
I nearly
say.
turned around. I'm like,
So what happened, Daddy, what's happened now is my channel's been taken down and I'm now wanted for third-degree murder.
I did not want to go and sit especially because everybody now in the bistro has heard what this old man has screamed across the bistro. And sorry, bud.
buddy.
He screamed across the bistro, so I don't want to go sit down at that table.
Yeah.
And
Like, who the fuck is that guy?
who the fuck is that guy? And I was right, by the way. You're moving the table so much. I'm like using all my force to hold
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Yeah, I was right. Everyone at the restaurant looked at us for the rest of the dinner, and I was so fucking embarrassed. I kept,
Is that the real GMat?
yeah,
Sitting with
can't say.
no.
I'd be like later on, they'd be ordering dessert, and I'd be like, yeah, can I get the white cake?
Fuck. Not that there's a problem that it's white.
I'll
or
get pudding,
any-
please.
Yeah.
So can I get the white cheesecake? Thanks. Yeah. Now, what kind of sauce would you like?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love a white gravy.
Yeah.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. What kind of sauce do you want on your pasta? Oh, can I have the? It doesn't matter because it's all the yummy one. Thank you.
The best one.
The best one around.
Yeah, so that happened. So that's my grandpa. So he was also on top of this when he was in hospital. He'd come in with a wild fever that he had for 2 or 3 days, and he was hallucinating while he had the fever.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a 90-year-old man of a different era
Mm-hmm.
who is hallucinating. He was not pleasant,
Yeah.
and by the time I'd arrived, because I didn't find out till get this, Dad calls me. And he lives in Sydney. He's like, I need you to pick me up from the airport tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, right? You're like, oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. And I just woke up. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what? Wait, what? Wait, what are you coming to Melbourne for? Yeah, it's Pa's in hospital. I was like, oh, what's going on? He'll be fine. Pick me up tomorrow.
You
Also,
tell me, like,
pick me up from Avalon. He went to Avalon Airport.
for those who don't know, that ain't close.
It's like it's
So out of your way, it's not even funny.
it's like the Melbourne airport is Tullamarine, and there is one between Melbourne and Geelong that's like an hour's drive that direction. Out once you get out of Melbourne, it's an hour's drive. And he went to that airport.
Yeah.
And he was like, cheaper. And I was like, not cheaper for my fucking fuel, you idiot.
Yeah.
Tullamarine would come out and grab you, and we'd be 10 minutes in the hospital. I didn't end up getting him in the end. My uncle picked him up on the way
Thank
through.
God.
But the point remains.
Yeah.
Go to fucking, if you're going
Tullamarine.
to a city, go to that airport. Don't go to the airport an hour out of the city and get someone to come pick you up, you fucking idiot.
Just be like, oh, well, Dad, there's a thing called a V line here in Victoria.
Yeah, jump on it.
And you're gonna catch that to Southern Cross, and then you're gonna catch that all the way to our suburb.
So he,
You fucking idiot.
you fucking dickhead. So he, by the time I got there, the hallucinations were over, but the respect of the nurses was well and truly gone.
Yep.
So I don't know what
Sorry,
he said.
Chloe.
When the nurses came in, they all came in with the same energy. Nurses, doctors, whoever it was. I remember this one doctor came in. She wasn't a junior doctor. Well, she didn't say she was a junior doctor, but she just said, I'm your doctor for blah, blah, blah. And I had to ask him a couple of questions. And she walked in the room like, hi.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Yeah.
John, I'm your doc, blah, 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 you know. And my pa, you have to, first of all, he has to look at you. If you aren't looking at him, if you don't have his attention, and I'll be like, and then look at me. And
Can we do a bit of a role play?
Yeah.
I'll be you be Pa.
He has to look at you so that he can understand you. And even then, you have to be so loud.
Mm-hmm.
If we're at this distance, this
I'm
may not translate because our microphones are compressed and whatever.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'll be like,
he'll be in bed looking that way.
talking at a completely normal volume.
Pa, what would you like?
Oh,
You go
my pa. Sorry.
Yeah, your Pa. Pa, what did you want for dinner? Hey, Pa.
Yeah.
What did you want on the form for dinner?
Be louder.
What did you want on the form for dinner?
I'll just get the appetite. Like, yeah, that's how loud you have to talk.
Yeah, right.
You go, and I hurt my voice.
Yeah.
And the doctors would be in his face as close as that microphone because you go, you have to come a little close because I can't hear. And they'd say, so I'm just wondering, when's, and I'd be like, Pa, she's wondering where you went to get the prostate exam the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm at the end of his bed.
And so the whole hospital can hear.
Yeah, the door's open. And I'm like,
You don't have to shout, Matthew.
no, he doesn't give a He has zero embarrassment about anything. But I'm like, Pa, what was the name of the doctor that you went to when you got your prostate? Like, you don't have to go, Pa, what? You talk normally. You just talk at this volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, Pa. I was doing a gig. I was doing Wind in the Willows. It was fun. Yeah. And he'd be like, oh, bloody great. And I'm like, here's an idea. Turn your fucking ears up. I know they have a knob.
Yeah.
You just don't know how to work the cunting things. And by the way, like my dad would be over that side of the room and he'd start talking and Pa would hear someone's talking and he'd look at me and I'd go,
Yeah. Nah, not me, mate.
and I'd point to my dad.
Nice try.
That's how you get him around the room.
You're going to pass him around
That's
the room.
how you get the fucking, and then I remember at one point we were talking about nothing. Talking about something about like, he was asking me about the pub near us. He was like, when I that was there when I was, like, do they still do food? And I was like, yeah, the food's all right. Yeah, cool. And then I'm talking to my dad about something and be like, yeah, I don't know, man. Just sometimes I feel like there's this pressure, like having a real deep conversation. And then he'll just chime in and be like, I remember when I went to that pub, I probably got, and we had to, I'm like, wait, what? Oh,
Sorry, we're 5 conversations back.
5 conversations in the
Sorry,
room.
Pa, what was that?
Oh, that's great, Pa. Yeah, so I'm feeling really depressed right now.
It's like you're talking in French.
The nurse came in. My auntie had shown up at this point who'd been there. And this nurse came in and this is one of the nurses that he bloody abused the other night, didn't he? And she was like, oh, he was all right.
Oh, he was all right.
They're all so lovely, but obviously they're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
The doctor, the young lady who came in and blah, 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 she left. And as loud as you fucking could be, she's like, she's not old enough to have a bloody driver's license.
Oh, no. She's been at uni for 8 years, Pa.
Yeah. And I was like, Pa, she's probably older than I am.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. She definitely was like my age. She was at least, she looked older than me, but people who look older than me generally are like, I look younger than I am. So I go, you're probably 30. But yeah, I mean, they all, she did act, she was like, had a young spirit. So I could see how people might think she's like 20
Fresh
years
out of high
old.
school, yeah.
But she is his doctor. And I'm sure she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
More than enough to not end up with a fucking lamb cock.
Yeah. That's very true. I hear from Chloe all the time, just like the absolute horror stories from elderly care, because unfortunately the nurses are the ones that cop it, because the doctors just go in, deliver the news, and they leave.
Yeah.
They don't have to do the nappies and the food and the feeding and the blood and check the blood pressure and stuff. Chloe will come home from work. She go, yeah, I punched in the nose today. I've been shat on today. Vomited on. I was called a whore about 17 times.
Was she being a whore? No. I'm asking questions. Was she being a whore?
No.
Was she sucking dick in the
No, she
in the
wasn't.
hallway?
She wasn't giving fellatio. She was suggesting, but she wasn't giving.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I just feel like it was a little bit uncalled for.
Uncalled
16
for.
times, maybe 17.
17
too much.
is too much.
That's too much.
17 times the whore full on me.
Yeah.
Well, full on you.
That's a good bit. Yeah. Chloe, you're not a whore. We love you.
No, not at all.
He says, sipping his coffee. But yeah, she's like, I had a guy in the shower and he, tried to strangle me and
Oh, fuck yeah, now.
yeah. So nurses, they have no choice because they can't send these elderly people anywhere. They're just in hospital. They just live there. She said she had a guy in there for like 40 days who just refused to go into an elderly home. It refused, 10 different hospitals said they don't want him, and he was just stuck there.
Yeah.
And they just had to deal with him. He's like, you fucking dirty slut nurses. Blah, blah, blah. Like sexual, so why you come shit on my lap, Just people that they have to deal with on a daily basis. And that's just not their one patient. They got to go around and get that from 17 people. And
it's hard because nurses are sluts. So it's it's really hard to, because you have to fight against people who are, telling you that and it's stupid. I don't know where I was going with that joke.
It's really good.
No, nurses aren't sluts.
Just
the nurse.
Dr. Connors.
Although all the girls I went to school with who are now nurses.
You said the bitches at school. The bitches at school are all fucking nurses.
Yeah, and it's so funny that I remember there was this girl who was in our friend group who's the biggest bitch. Mm-hmm. And her mum used to get involved in all of our high school bullshit. Mm-hmm. And that's embarrassing when you're a mum getting involved in high school gossip. And they both became nurses. Her and her mum went to school together. I'm
gross.
kidding, guys. Not about them. They did really become nurses and they were nasty bitches. But not all nurses are bitches.
Not all nurses.
Just all bitches are nurses.
Just all bitches are nurses. That's very true. Yeah. That's very, very true. I had my blood drawn recently, and the bedside manner of some people in those pathology places is unreal. I don't know if we...
Good or bad?
Bad, horrible, terrible. Remember, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast when you were getting in a fucking argument with... Remember when I was borderline in the ground?
Oh yeah,
you
true.
had the fight with the pathology thing because we didn't have the script.
Yeah,
you're like, I need to actually walk away before I jump the counter.
Yeah, what did I say to that lady? What was her deal?
I didn't have a referral.
Oh yes.
And I was like, but we were just sent here, and we're on the phone to the reception. Them telling us, no, we don't need to send you a referral.
Yeah,
and she's.
Oh, I remember it was her being her suggesting that we'd done something wrong.
Yeah.
And she was giving us a lot of attitude. And then I was like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're doing exactly what we were told to do. Mm-hmm. You're doing what you were told to do. Everyone's doing the right thing here. Mm-hmm. So why are you talking to us like we've come in here with our fucking clothes off, run around like mad people?
And I'm
we're trying to get to the same solution.
I think at one stage you're like, she's got a 39-degree fever, and I'm in the chair like this.
And she was drilling you and giving you a hard time. I'm like, she's fucking dying.
Yeah.
We don't need to be mad at each other. We don't need to be having a fight right now.
And it wasn't
it's your fucking fault that we're having a fight.
Yeah.
So please don't act and I could see her getting all huffy. I'm like, please don't act like I'm crazy because you are acting like a cunt. Mm-hmm. You are the one behind the counter with all the power.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to the answer. And
I
would like for you to be clear with me and not act like I'm trying to get around the system.
I was up there hunched on the counter with my phone, and I'm trying to pass my phone to the nurse who's passing it back to me, for me passing it back to her, going, this is what they've given me and this is the text message and blah, blah, blah. We're just going back and forth. And I'm like, I just need a flu swab. That's it. That's all I need. I need you to stick the cotton wool in my mouth, put it in the jug. If it turns blue, then I'm fucked. Yeah. That's all I needed you to tell me. That's it. And I'm on the phone to reception, and they go, no, you don't need a referral for a flu swab. And then she goes, I don't understand why you would come in here without a referral.
I'm like, because we're not doctors. We don't know what the process is.
It's like the
same
people
as the fucking airport. You go, why do you have your fucking thing in your pocket? I said, because I can't see the fucking signs because we're getting herded through like fucking cattle and I don't know what's going on. It's up to you to say, take the blubber, do the blubber, dubba, which only happens to every 30 people. Yeah. Someone at the back going, what the fuck did they just say?
Different bags in different trays.
Fuck off. And that's what set me off. You were on the phone doing what she told you, and she came over 3 times to be like, I just don't understand. And I'm like, I don't understand why it's not legal for me to throw you through the window. You fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Like, I know
If this was if the purge started tomorrow,
that would be
if
the
the- if
first
the
stop. Yeah.
horn went, I'd take this and I'd head straight fucking down there and put it through a goddamn temple.
Would you like a police swap?
Oh, I can't believe you came in here without a helmet, you fucking stupid. Why would you think to come in a reception's office without a helmet? Fucking idiot.
I want to go there again.
The bedside manner in the world right now. My God. Everyone's being an arsehole.
But it is crazy because I was saying before, I went to get my blood drawn a couple of weeks ago, got in there and she made me sit on the seat and like I got in trouble the first time when they told me to sit on the seat and I vomited and fainted. And she was like, you should have told me that you were going to be sick and I would have put you on the bed.
Please learn to control your fainting.
Yeah.
Infamously, you don't go, oh, fuck. And they go, what? I'm going to faint in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It fucking happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
No, I sat on the bed and I was like, oh, she's like, now please sit on the chair. And she starts getting the thing on my arm. And I was like, oh, just so you know, like, I'm going to be a drama patient today. Like, I'm a fainter and I get really woozy and stuff like that. She goes, yeah, I know. That's fine. But you need to sit on the seat first.
So this is the same lady?
No,
Or
this is a different lady.
Different time? Gotcha.
This is different. Yeah, that's fine. You just need to sit on the seat first while we do paperwork. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, sure. Sat on the seat and she's getting the stuff ready and she's like, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? And then she's like starting to put the thing on my arm while I'm still on the chair. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then she's like, okay, so we're going to do the ECG first, but you need to take everything off, which I've never had before in my entire life. No nurse has ever said, be naked to do the ECG, which is just they put paddles on you, sticky tape. But you can move the bra around and things like that.
Yeah.
She's like, no, take it all off. And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, you need no bra on. And I was like, this is...
Next time you have that appointment, can I
come?
drive?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'm like, I don't like that. So I folded the bra up into like a little skinny roll.
Just for your nipple?
Just for my napples and put it on there. And then she kind of came in and like looked down at me like that's a huge inconvenience because I was going to put a paddle right on your fucking nipple, which has never happened before ever in my entire life.
What I'd do to be that paddle.
For a serial ECG patient. Yeah, I know what I wouldn't give.
What a fucking idiot. Keep going.
Yeah, and then like, you know, she's like, lie down. Now, are you okay? You're all right with this? I'm like, I told you that like the blood is the thing that makes me faint, not the fucking...
Paddles.
The stickers.
The lying on my back with paddles on my body.
Yeah, that's fine. And she's like, are you okay? You all right? Cool.
Whoa, why? Keep going.
No, I'd like, would
What
you
a tone. It's so, to be like, you good, right?
Yeah.
May as well be chewing fucking gum.
Yeah.
You good? Yeah.
Doesn't care if I live or die. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What am I going to do now?
So we're just going to start the ECG machine. Just don't move, yeah? Just don't move and just breathe really normal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they boop it. They boop the machine and it goes for 4 fucking seconds. And your heart palpitation has happened before and after the cunting scan. So they've completely missed it. And she goes, yeah, looks completely normal there. Prints
Well, they're
it
not
off.
looking for the palpitation. They're looking for like rhythm
Irregular,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, the butterfly thing happened 4 minutes ago and it's just happened now and you've taken the paddles off.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then she's like, okay.
Because they don't need to hear the actual. This is what I went through when I had the palpitation. They don't need to hear the actual palpitation.
They just need to see the
They
thing.
need to see that your heart is all good, and then
Yeah.
they go, all right, palpitation isn't a sign of something else. Keep going. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, that's good.
That's
That's
so
good.
much heart time.
Huh?
I've had so much time with my
Yeah.
heart. Fucking a year and a half of trying to deal with my heart.
It is a pain in my asshole.
Yeah, you end up losing like $2,500 or some ludicrous amount. Anyways, continue.
And then she's like, all right, now we're going to do the blood test. So which arm do you want? And I was like, I just kind of held both my arms up like this. Like, I was like, whichever one looks good to you. Have you drunk any water today? Yes. Okay. And then she's like wiggling her arm. She goes, we'll try this one. Let's not try.
Let's do it.
darling. Let's just get it done.
That's why they call it practice.
Yeah.
I'm here all day.
Yeah.
Welcome to my practice. You didn't get it the first time I said
I
it.
did now.
Yeah.
That's what I call it, a practice.
Keep going.
I just
Like I'm
hate that.
interviewing you. Yeah, fucking like, well, we're gonna give it a go.
Yeah, we'll give this one a go.
Probably gonna hurt like fuck.
Yeah. She goes, just a small scratch there.
Yeah.
And like, she pricks me so hard that I jump. Like, because I don't normally move when they do the blood test. The blood test is fine. But like, Chloe's described it to me. It is like putting a needle through a piece of wet spaghetti to get the pin inside the veins. It's like, so you can feel it going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She's like, yeah, when you do practice putting, intravenous in or like you take blood and stuff, it is like putting a needle straight through wet spaghetti. So it's like the vein is really solid and it would slip,
That's
go
cool.
side to side. So when she was like, we'll try, it reminded me of when I got my second blood test ever, and the nurse was the most beautiful woman in the world, but I knew that I was going to faint. I knew that I was going to be woozy, so I was blindfolded. And she's doing the blood test, and then she goes, oh, and then takes the needle out. And then she whispers something to my partner at the time. And I was like, what was that? And partner goes, nothing, it's all good. But what she said was, I missed. And she had pierced the vein open and had like ruptured the vein in my arm. So I had a bruise from the bottom of my wrist to the top of my shoulder. Yeah.
I like that she whispered to him, I missed.
Oh, she did.
That's so wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you
I was like, what did she say to
Like,
you?
why would she lean to your partner instead of being like, I'll be back in a moment. Like, just to let him know, just so you know, I fucked up there.
I fucked up.
Please don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Please, I'll suck your dick if you please don't tell him. Please,
Yeah.
please, I'll suck your dick.
She whispers to me, I missed.
I missed.
And then went back in to the vein next door, this one.
Yeah, I can
And
see
then-
it. I don't know how anyone misses your fucking veins.
Yeah. I'm basically see-through.
I could spot that vein right now from 10 yards away. I'll shoot that blood of mine and get on my mind.
So she did this one, missed, and then got that one.
You're a very vascular lady.
Yeah?
You got fucking, yeah. Yeah, you are translucent. Not that side. Yeah, do that arm. That's the arm.
Anyway.
Yeah, dumb bitch.
Yeah, so she went this way and like I went out and I was like, my fucking arm's really sore. And then,
Yeah, you got internal bleeding in your forearm.
yeah. So I ended up like having to go to the doctors the next day and I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, ooh.
Ooh.
Isn't that, yeah, when the
Bang for your
doctors
buck.
go, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, bedside manner is fucked.
It's just crazy.
It's not bedside manner, but I went and had breakfast at a cafe with my you know what? Who else had fucking Em and her mum went and had breakfast this morning, and they you go to the thing and it's like do you wait here to get just seated or do you go in?
Okay,
you
yeah.
sit there. No one came for like a minute or so, and she's like, oh, I guess we'll go sit down. They sit down. Oh, you want to go outside? And they go outside and they waited for ages, and they're like, oh, what's going on? And then a waitress comes over and goes, hi, has anyone served you? Like, no, we haven't. We sat down a little bit like 5 minutes ago. No, we're ready if you are. She goes, oh, yeah. And she was like, did somebody seat you? And they're like, no, we're at the front. No, and well, that's what's supposed to happen. Someone's supposed to bring you to your table, and that's how we know that you're here so that we can serve you. What do you want? Like,
Okay, listen here, lady.
Listen.
Maybe here's what's gonna happen. If you do the start of your job, which was that, and like, there's no bell, there's no way to notify you that we're here. So we have to do your job for you. I understand that you've got sections and you only want to do the tables that you have been assigned to do today.
Yeah.
But if we have to do your job for you, then please don't yell at us for your incompetence.
Also,
you dirty
Smooth
you
transition.
don't have to like say anything.
No, you just be like,
they
oh,
didn't
yeah,
get
okay.
served.
Oh, that explains
well,
it.
There's
Yeah,
clearly
no.
loads of tables everywhere. And we're in a cafe. We're not in
Yeah.
the middle of the fucking CBD and
Yeah.
the most fancy Italian restaurant. What eggs do you want?
Exactly.
Fucking idiot. Oh yeah, I'll get the eggs Benedict. with
Oh,
this-
that's no problem. And if it was a problem, be like, oh, that's cool. You're in this section today. I'll just go let the server know you're here and we'll be right with you.
Can we get 2 glasses of water and a side of I'll kick your chest through your back?
Yeah.
I think Em was like, let's just go. And I think her mum was like, her mum's the kind of person who'd be like, I guess it is our fault. We should have waited, a sweetie pie. But like, I can't imagine the attitude.
No.
Because anyways,
Of addressing a lady our age and a middle-aged woman,
yeah.
being like, so
You're like,
what you've done here is you've
I gotta cut that out. That's insane. Yeah, that's the way she behaved. She behaved. I mean, obviously, I'm only hearing this from a story, but it sounded like she'd come over to be like, "Oh, you've committed a war crime.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dress you down now.
Yeah.
And then I'll go get your eggs or whatever the fuck you want." I went to a cafe and I left my hat behind.
Oh fuck. It was a gnat. Mr. Miyagi. Oh.
By accident, I left my hat behind. And the server, I don't know why, we were there. We ordered food and coffee, and we were quiet. We were like normal people. Mm-hmm. And he came out. I'll do what he did, just to show the audience if they're watching. But this is how he handed my hat back to me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I throw you that, when I,
yeah, I'm ready.
He comes out of the restaurant.
He comes out the restaurant. He said,
like this, and he goes, "Excuse me." And then I said something like, "Oh, mate, thanks, buddy."
You can't see yourself.
I'll
Do
move
it again.
towards it. I'm going like, "Oh, yeah." And then I would say something like,
"Oh, thanks. You found my hat. Thank you." He threw it at you.
He didn't. He got
halfway there.
He got, yeah, like probably like further than this, like enough to throw it. But it was the throw and the turn away.
And the turn away. Oh my God, Father. No worries, chap. Thanks, bucko.
Yeah.
Thanks, matey.
Threw it at me and turned around and went straight back in the restaurant. And I was like, "Oh, my hat. Oh, thanks so much, but like
fuck me."
That was my thing. And I was like, I didn't leave it behind
on purpose.
It's like it's the same deal.
Yeah.
This person that served Em and her mum, what do you think? Mm-hmm. And the person at the counter, the blood place, and this fucking guy, what low view do you have of humanity? What do you think I am doing?
Yeah.
To make your day work?
You paid money for this hat. Why the fuck would you leave it behind?
I'm not doing it to upset anybody. We're not coming in without a referral to
order eggs and bacon.
We didn't walk in to this restaurant. I didn't walk in this restaurant with my mum to try and get my favorite table when there's 400 tables left over.
Yeah.
We're just people moving through the world, trying our best, and then fucking cunts act like they're the main character of the world. And it's like, we're not
Take
NPCs.
Take your fucking scrummy hat back.
Yeah, I'm not an NPC. I'm a human being. I'm so sorry. Have the fucking hat.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cunt.
Speaking of cunts, this is going to be the name of the podcast. Speaking of cunts. So Sophie had someone ring work the other day.
Murphy just made a hella noise.
And she was unintentionally so snarky that I spat my drink and laughed so hard.
Yeah.
So this guy was on the phone and he was saying that he wanted fence extensions. Sophie's going through all the different types. And he goes, "Yeah, but they're bloody cheaper. They're cheaper Bunnings. They're bloody cheaper Bunnings, you sell the same products." And then she goes, if you pay on price, you're going to pay twice. And then he goes, "Oh, no, I'm just going to go to it." And she goes, "Okay, have fun at Bunnings." And then hung up the phone. And the way she said, "Have fun at Bunnings." Okay, have fun at Bunnings. Beep, beep. And I was like, oh my God. And then it was my turn.
Now, gang, let's make a very important distinction here, because this rant we just went on about service people being rude to us for no reason, and let me tell the story about Sophie saying to a customer, "Have fun at Bunnings." You need to understand the difference being that this person was arguing.
Yeah, he was. When we were like, "Here's the solution to your product, and we've got them in stock." And he goes, "Bunnings." And we've seen the fence extensions at Bunnings.
We have. You point them out every time.
Fucked.
They're dog shit.
Yeah.
So the difference being that when we went to get the referral, or when our friend and her mum went to have breakfast, or when I left my hat behind, nobody's doing anything. No one's trying anything. We're just moving through the world.
Yep.
We're not trying to get something out of the person we're talking to. We're just trying to have a good time.
Yep.
What happened with you?
So, at this company, I
got a great one about Ben after this as well.
Oh, I'm so good.
I saw it today.
What a good pod. We've gone from the worst thing we've ever recorded last week to this. Okay. I am the fucking social media manager. I mean nothing to this company. I should make no decisions on anything, and I really should stick to the customer is always right. We should always try and help them no matter what, no matter how fucking dopey they are, no matter how rude they are to us. But this was the time that I finally stood up and I was like, no, you know what? The customer isn't always right, and
They're rarely right.
They're never right.
Who's going to be right? The person who doesn't know anything, who's come to you for a service, or the person who lives, breathes, and works at the service?
Yep.
The customer is almost always wrong.
Yep. Yeah, but you have
Unless
to,
I'm the customer, then I'm right.
Then you're always right. That's correct. So this lady is a landlord. I could just stop the story there.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah. She is a piece of shit. She is a nasty piece of work. She has been on the go with us since September last year. It's the end of February.
What day in September?
The 16th.
Close. Keep going.
Anyway, she will not speak to the tenants that are in her property at the moment because they are different. They are different ethnicity to her.
Oh, yes. What is she?
She's Australian.
White Australian?
Yep.
Caucasian Australian?
Yep, an old lady.
She got any kind of like, you know what I love is when, actually no, that's a really dodgy opinion. Keep going. What? Sorry, I should clarify because now everyone's going to think I said something. I like it when like foreign Australians are racist to foreigners.
Yeah.
That always makes me giggle because I'm like, blood, you're like 20 years away from that being you. You're just lucky you were born today.
Yeah.
So why don't you chill out a little bit? I've had a genuinely the greatest like irony of my life was a friend of mine who's Asian going to his parents' place and his mum in the thickest accent being like, I won't do the accent, but in the thickest accent being like, they should go back to their own country. And I was like, I laughed so loud and she didn't know why. I was like, God, blood, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Let's all be kind to each other. Keep
Fucking
going.
idiots.
So this real estate who you deal with at your fencing company
so she
doesn't talk to her tenants because they're, do you know what ethnicity they are? You just don't want to say it?
Oh, they're Asian.
Asian. Where, like any particular Asian? You
Just
don't know?
Chinese.
Just Chinese?
Yeah.
Just Chinese,
I
gang.
don't. She won't give us the contact to the tenants. She won't give us anything.
I bet they're not Chinese, or I bet she just says they're Chinese.
Yeah. She rings us. She's never seen our product before, but she's like, I have this side of the house and I've got fence extensions on there already. Lattice, the ones that crisscross over each other.
Lattice on a MJ?
Lattice on a MJ, but they're falling apart. And I want to put one of your screens or a new fence extension up. And I said, right. No fucking worries. So we're the manufacturer. We are the base point. We are Anco, not Kmart. We're Anco.
Yeah.
We're making the shit.
You probably should pick a better company than Anco. Yeah, like we're Anco.
We're not Build-A-Bear. We're the place that makes the fabric.
You're not JB Hi-Fi. You're Rode.
Yeah, I'm Rode. Yeah, that's better.
You're not
Thank
DJ
you.
City. You're Rode.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are the manufacturer. So we just produce the product. You have to tell us what to make and we tell, we can give you suggestions.
You're not the dealership. You're Ford.
Yeah, I'm Ford. Yeah, we're Ford, basically. We're the supplier. We're a nationwide supplier. And we say to her, yeah, that's no problems. We can definitely help you. We've got X, Y, and Z options. And this is in your price range. Have a look. Here's the email. Here's the pricing and the sizing to match. She would not speak to the tenants to measure the area. She would only send us photos, and the description she uses like, it's like, the size of a normal fence.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. But she would not let us talk to the tenants who were living there. She would not go to the property. She was sending us photos of the house before they moved in, so just off realestate.com. And we could barely see. It was photos inside the house looking through the window at her fence outside. Mind you, I'm taking the photo here. It's like she's getting us to replace the gate in your front yard.
Dumb bitch. Keep going.
Oh, cool. Anyway, I just want to watch the gauge here. Just go. Psh.
Here's the problem, gang. I quite desperately need to shit, so I'm just taking the microphone into the toilet because I have that option. I'm turning the fan off so I can hear you, but you're gonna hear me diarrhea.
Okay, cool.
Keep telling me the story.
So, oh my God, I'm so distracted.
I know I shouldn't have done it now, but I've been fighting diarrhea the whole show.
Oh, good. Anyway, so she is like, what sort of product should I use for this? And we're like, well, number one, we can barely see what we're looking at. Is there any way we can talk to the tenants? Is there any way we can get better photos? Is there any way that we can do anything better than what you've fucking given us? And she's like, nah, they're horrible tenants. They won't cooperate. They won't do this. They won't do that, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what to choose. And then she's asking us our opinion on what would look better. And we give her suggestions to say, well, you can choose this, this, and this. Will look good against that. And she will not make up her mind. She's like, yeah, but like, can you, like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, it's completely up to you. Do you like this? You're the one who's buying it. Like, this is the product. This is what we're trying to sell you. Do you like it? Yes or no? And she'll go, I'm not sure. I'll think about it. A week later, she'll ring us back going, no one's gotten back to me. And then we go, yes, you're the lady who can't decide on the blah, blah. Well, we've already quoted you on this. We've already tried to, get the measurements and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I just want someone to come out and have a look. And we're like, okay, so when's a good time? Well, I don't know because the tenants won't talk to me, but they're the ones at the property, so I won't be there. And I'm like, okay, but you're the one who's buying the product, so how's our installer going to talk to you about the property that you're not going to be at if you won't be there at the same time that the tenants are? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You're yelling out to me, but I don't know what you're saying into the microphone.
I haven't said anything, but I'm concerned because there was like diarrhea and I can't bleep it out in your story.
That's really funny. That's really, really funny. You can say, like, I had diarrhea on the podcast. Live from my asshole. Shit. There he goes. Please hold. Dun, 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 dun,
I can't.
dun.
Halfway through, I was doing like horrible shits, and I'm like, I can't bleep this out now because I'll interrupt your story.
You can probably cut some of it out.
No, keep going.
So anyway, she's not going to be at the property. She won't let us talk to the tenants. She won't basically cooperate in any way, shape or form. And she's like, no, I need to liaise with them when they're home, but they won't answer my calls and it's all a big fucking problem.
Sweating from my forehead.
Oh, my Lord.
I just started feeling really unwell like halfway through the podcast.
You all right?
Yeah. It's
Great.
business as usual.
Business as usual.
I'm not like, I'm unwell and I don't know what's happening. My body is a nightmare.
My body's a temple.
My body. So in case the diarrhea ruins some of the story, to get up to date, lady needs fence extension, is being a problem, won't communicate well with you guys, and you're trying to plan a time to come and see the fence to help her, but she won't do that because she doesn't live in the house and she won't communicate with the tenants because they're Chinese.
Yep. So we try and pair her up with installer A.
Yep.
Installer A actually ends up quitting, and it's by the time we get her booked in for an install inspection, it's the end of the year and we've got no time left.
Yep.
So we set her up in the new year with installer B, and she was trying. This is an installer. He's not a salesperson. He's not an anything. He's an installer to be there to put the things on the fence, and he just has to go there to do the measure and quote. So he goes there and says, what product am I installing? What am I quoting for? Am I quoting for a 2-hour job putting fence extensions or a 4-day job doing screens? Like, what am I doing here? And she goes, well, I don't know. Can you tell me? And he's like, no, like, what have you been quoted on? She's like, well, I've got lots of things. Blah, 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 blah. He doesn't end up going out because he can't quote for a job that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He can just say the fence is this long, which they already kind of know because they've looked it up on realestate.com. And what I'm installing, I don't know. I don't fucking know. So he doesn't go out. He's too busy doing, real work.
Yeah.
She rings us and goes, now, this is present day. She's rung me and I've answered the phone. Hi, how you going? Hi, I was supposed to get an installer out and they've just completely ignored me and they won't communicate with me and they won't do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's really odd. Like, that usually doesn't happen. Like, let me bring up your stuff.
Yeah.
And I will help you. And I was like, that's no problems. Like, we've got spots this Friday. We can get you in. We've got half the day free. Let me get your stuff. No, you're not listening. This guy, I've been texting him. I've tried to call him. He won't answer. And I'm like, oh, that's really strange. Like, our installers are, like, reputable. They're, some of them manufacture our products. Some of them install all over Australia. Like, we don't have dodgy people working for us.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you're not listening. All right? And I'm like, oh, that's okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to see what we're quoting for, who we recommended, because she couldn't remember the installer's name. We've got a bunch. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's your email?
I wonder why she couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
Because it's not Steve or John or Gary.
I was like, I'm trying to put in her number in the system to see if she's got an order or anything.
Yeah.
She won't give me her email. She won't give me her name. Her number's nowhere. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, we'd be more than happy to help. She's like, no one's been helping me. This is really unprofessional. She's like, you are not listening to me. You are talking over me. You are doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, oh, no, I totally understand. Like, it's so strange that they didn't call you back. Our installers are this, that, and the other. Like, I'm defending my staff kind of thing. And then she's like, well, I have to say, because he's an Indian, you know what the Indians are like. They are non-reliable and they're lazy. And I was like, sorry?
I like that every time your people are about to say something they don't need to say, they always start with, I just have to say.
Yeah.
Like, babe, you don't.
You don't, babe.
Yeah. Also, where is the, like, I'm trying to find out the right way to phrase this, but you hear stereotypes and generalizations just as a human being in this world. I've never heard the generalization or the stereotype that Indian people are lazy. I'm like, where's that?
And
come
these
from?
guys work 6 days a week, sometimes 7.
That's when you enter like deep racism, when you're like, I haven't even heard that.
Yeah.
When you're like,
But she was trying to get me to agree with her.
Yeah.
She was like, you know how they are. They're all like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm just trying to help you. Like, I'm not sure who, number one, I'm not sure who you are. I'm not sure who was sent out to you. I don't know who you've been dealing with. And then she like read out his phone number or something. And I was like, oh, that's one of our like manufacturers. He's a fantastic worker. He installs fence extensions all the time, blah, blah, blah. But he's not here because she wanted to speak to him. I was like, he drives a Sydney truck and he's on the way back from Sydney driving. So I can't help you. And she goes, you're not listening. I have dealt with your, Indian blah, blah. And he's being lazy and he's ignoring me. And I said, well, no, that's not true. And I don't understand what his race has anything to do with the job. This has nothing to do with anything. This has nothing to do with our products. It's got nothing to do with installation. And quite frankly, I don't like that you've brought up his race. And she goes, no, it's not racist. I'm just explaining that that's the type of person that they are, that they're lazy.
Yeah. And
I said, you know what? I don't appreciate, and I was so proud of myself for doing this. I was like, I don't appreciate you bringing up his ethnicity for this job. This has nothing to do with it. And quite frankly, I think you should take your business elsewhere.
Fuck yeah.
Now, I am not the person who should be saying take your business elsewhere. I am the person who is supposed to bring money in. And like my dick was so low to the floor, I was like, you need to fuck off. Like I actually think you need to take your business elsewhere. Because I'm not interested in helping someone who's saying racist things about our employees.
Yeah, and you should.
Yeah.
You're like, it's not funny. There's no place. There's no place for it in like a formal setting.
Smooth transition.
So I got to Ben's house today.
Yeah.
To pick up this shit that I left there. Oh, my pectorals.
You've been pumping too much
Been
orange.
pumping too much orange. And he gets there, he walks out the front, and he was like,
Is this Matt from uni?
he came at the front. I was like, what are you doing? Because he doesn't usually come out to meet me. He's like, no, my Uber's here. We got food, and he's like, it's an hour late. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, and he's like, I'm gonna have a word with him.
Oh fuck.
And I was like, now hold on. Was it his fault or was it the restaurant's fault? He's like, he's had it in his hands for the last hour. I was like, oh, okay, go for it. He said he picked up the food and he was sat. He sat at the place for like
Waiting for
45
another
minutes.
order.
Yeah, or on the phone. I've seen that before. People have food and they stay on the phone. I had a guy sit out the front of our house once for 10 minutes. And I was like, what's going on? And I went up to the window and he was on fucking AirPods. And I was like, he's like, oh, I've got your food. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, thanks, brother.
I was like, yeah, wrap your phone call up, deliver the food, call him back. I don't care. Drop the food off. So he goes out the front. And I missed this call because I went inside. I missed this conversation because I went inside. He came back in and he didn't have the food with him. And I was like, what happened? And he's like, oh, I told him I didn't want it and take it back. And he's standing at the door looking through the little blinds from the G-Stream video. I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm just watching him to make sure he doesn't drop it at the doorstep and take the picture and act like it's delivered. I said, it's cold. I don't want it. It's an hour late. You sat there. It really, truly is the Uber driver's fault. And he was so fucking funny. He's watching him and he's going, he doesn't
like a desperate housewife.
He's just standing in the middle of the road. The guy's standing in the middle of the road, doesn't know what to do. And he's come over. He's like, oh, he's coming. When I'm like, and he's come over with the bag to drop on the mailbox and he's take a photo and he was literally going to take the photo. And Ben opens the door and goes, He goes, nice try. And the Uber driver started laughing. And so now you got Ben and this Uber driver laughing at each other. And he's like, no.
I'm going to get you fired. Oh, you got me this time.
And he's like, take it away. I don't want it.
1-star review, you naughty sausage.
And the guy didn't have very good English, so he they couldn't communicate, but they both knew what was going on. And he was like, no, go. I don't want it. Take it away. Get it out of here. And he's like, okay. And he goes away. And
oh my God.
he shuts the door. And he's watching through the blinds again. And the guy's gone out and sat on the road. And he came back and tried to do it again.
Hey, it's GMat here from The Real GMat, and don't forget, if you enjoyed that episode of Mentally Illegal and you want to hear more, we also have the podcast post show available exclusively to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/GMat podcasts. The podcast post show is a shorter episode recorded directly after the main podcast where we just keep on chatting. Again, patreon.com/GMat podcasts. Don't forget to thumbs up, rate, and like this podcast on your podcast app of choice and share it with all of your friends.